Well, Happy New Year, family. Well, it's New Year's Eve. I'm just so excited about 2023. I'm already in the future. Well, in some places they are celebrating New Year's Day, so I'm celebrating right along with them. But guys, it's New Year's Eve, and I am super excited to kind of get on today and share some tips with you about aging. I recently celebrated my 41st birthday, y'all. 41 years old. Well, I'll say 41 years young. And normally the comment that I get or the response that I get when I tell people my age is like, dang, you 41? You look good for 41. I would have thought you were like in your early 30s or something. I've gotten 22, but maybe they were just being a little bit too too complimentary, excuse me. And so but they are usually shocked when I share with them that I am celebrating 41 years of a wonderful life. And I thought about it because a lot of us are hesitant about getting older and the aging process. And I understand, at this age that I'm at right now, a lot of people are coming into what we call a midlife crisis. And it's where you kind of are questioning where you are in life, how fulfilled you are, why you're here, what's your purpose, are you wasting your life, a whole bunch of, and you start dealing with a whole bunch of regrets and things like that. And I want to just kind of give you some tips on just aging gracefully and then enjoying the process because, y'all, I love getting older and more mature, as I say. And I would not want to go back to my 20s. If y'all only knew what my 20s was like, I would not want to go back to my 20s. So I really enjoy the process of getting older, more wiser, more comfortable in my own skin. And I want to be able to share those tips with you guys on how to age gracefully so that you can enjoy the process of change and evolving and growth. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is about. It's about growth and it's about evolving and becoming the best version of yourself. So in my thoughts notebook, I wrote some factors down on when I thought about my own aging process and my own aging gracefully mindset. I wanted to write those things down so that I can share those with you. And these are in no particular order, and they're all priority. They're all of importance. And these are not the only tips. I'm sure there are some tips that you can share. I would love to hear them in the comments below. But I'm going to start with investing in yourself. Think about this, guys. You have one body. Okay. God blessed you with one body on this earth. And you have one life to live, and how you invest in that body, how you invest in that life, it's going to reflect in your physical appearance. Is going to reflect in your attitude and your mood and your mind, your mindset, and how you think about things. Part of that is going to be eating right. I always drink water. Wherever I go, I always drink water. Limiting your alcohol intake as much as possible. I've actually kind of given up alcohol altogether, though I did have a little alcohol on my birthday, and it kind of made me sick. So I was like, see, that's why I knew I'm trying to give up alcohol. And I'm not against drinking every now and then, but all things in balance, proper balance. And I'll talk about that balance a little bit later. But you want to take care of your body. You want to eat right. You want to stay active. You want to keep moving. You got to think about it. When you move, the blood flows through the body, and the blood is what carries the nutrients and the oxygen to each and every cell. So it's important that in order to stay young, you need to constantly be moving your body. You need to constantly be active, and you need to eat right. You need to fuel your body properly. In so many ways, our body is a machine. And so what we put into it is what we're going to get out of it. So I remember I said in one video, and I was talking about this in regards to your mindset, but trash in, trash out. And that's the same way when it comes to your physical body. So invest in yourself. I had at one point signed up for getting facials every single month. When I was younger, I did have very bad skin problems. And I even got a little something right there. I was picking at something right there. But I had very bad skin. And so, I wound up later on going to school and becoming a licensed esthetician. So I learned a lot about skincare. I learned a lot about the body and how the body works and how the skin works. And so I do not skimp on my facials. I actually need to get a facial to make up for this month, but I do not skimp on taking care of my skin, making sure it stays hydrated, making sure my body stays hydrated, and just, again, feeding your body the things that it needs in order to keep running at optimal precision, at optimal level. And so that's the first thing I'm going to start with is you got one body, take care of it. How you treat it is how it's going to treat you. All right, number 2, be more grateful. Y'all, we have to, what you focus on and the affirmations or the words that you feed yourself is the environment or the reality that you're going to create. You think about this. When you see somebody and all they're doing is they're focusing on negative, they're focusing on what they lack, what they don't have, what they wish they had, and they're, instead of them focusing on what they do have and how they can take what they do have and make the most of it, they focus on all the things that they lack. And when you do that, you create an internal kind of disturbance within yourself. Think about this, guys. Whatever goes on internally is going to reflect externally. So when all you focus on is what you don't have, what you lack, what you wish you had, and all those different types of things, it's going to affect your internal body, which is going to affect your external body. And so when you're grateful, you're able to receive more, because think about this, your hands are open to give, and then you're able to receive as well. So I want to say, just be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. I'm not saying don't be realistic, but be grateful for what you have, and what you need to work on, what you need to improve, then improve that. But don't focus, let not your focus be so much on what you don't have instead of what you do have. Because when you focus on what you do have, then you're able to either enhance it, improve it, or do the things that are necessary in order to cultivate what you need to cultivate. I want to make a keynote. Happiness is not something that is found. This world and our society has taught us that happiness is something you got to go out and look for. Happiness, you have to go out and seek it and find it from somewhere, and that's not how happiness works. Happiness is something that is cultivated internally based on how you think, based on how you view life, based on your level of gratitude and your attitude and all those different types of things. And so what you focus on internally and what you cultivate within yourself, you will see blossom on the outside. If you cultivate dysfunction and brokenness, disappointment, discouragement, lack, all those different type of negative aspects, you're going to create a garden of that, so to speak, on the outside, which is going to be poison ivy, weeds, all those different types of things. So y'all, look, we are our own garden. Cultivate your garden so that your garden can blossom and flourish. All right. Next one, live life. Oh my God, y'all, this is super important. I think Americans, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but Americans are, I read somewhere that we are the ones that most don't take our vacations. We work. We stay stressed. We're like one of the least happiest countries. And it's because we are not living our lives. We're so focused. And a lot of this is society and how society trains us and trains our minds to think. But it trains us to focus again on finding happiness through external things like money, material, possessions, likes, and whether people like, how many people like your posts and pictures and all those things like that. And y'all, that is not how happiness works. You need to go out and live your life. You were not born under a rock. Do not live under a rock. I know there are people who are born in a certain community or neighborhood and they never leave that place. They never venture outside. They never explore the world, discover this awesome, beautiful planet that God created. And so their horizons have not been broadened, and so they're very narrow-minded, and that narrow-minded actually contributes to a certain level of aging. It really does. It contributes to a certain internal youthfulness that we all should have and should cultivate. When you live life, when you travel, explore, create moments, and invest in creating memories. Those things help to keep you youthful. And so I want to implore you, I don't mean to disrespect anybody who, hasn't left their home or anything like that. And maybe they feel that their home is all that they need. And that's perfectly fine. I respect that. But just know that there's a huge whole world out there waiting for you. And it's waiting for you to discover it, explore it, and go live your life. I say as long as you have breath in your lungs, guys, live your life. Travel. And stop also holding off on living your life until that one day when you're like retired, because most companies and corporations and businesses know that you ain't gonna make it to there, especially if you're stressed out all the time. You are not gonna make it to your retirement. We are not guaranteed tomorrow, y'all. If you can live your life today, live your life. Now, I want to say this: don't go broke and broke, busted, and disgusted trying to just do all the things that you think that the world thinks you should do, or what the world calls success. Understand, success could be living your life, could be traveling to just the next town over. It could be traveling to another state. It could be just doing little things to help enhance your life. But it's about discovery. It's about self-discovery. It's about discovering the world that you live in. It's about exploration. And it's about all those different types of things. And that's what I want to say when it comes to living your life. Living your life don't mean breaking the bank. It means exploring, discovering, and doing what you can do to broaden your horizons and maintain and cultivate that youthfulness internally. All right. Next one is stress less. Y'all, I'm not about that stress life. I'm just going to keep it 100. I am not about that stress life. If there is something in my life that wants to stress me out, I'm good on that, because there's something internally and physiologically that stress does to the body that contributes to the aging process. That is the truth. And understand that as long as you are trying to chase after the things that society has told you that will make you successful, money, materials, all those different types of things, you're going to be stressed out in life. And so I want to tell you, try to maintain as much internal harmony and balance as much as possible, because that is what's going to keep your youthfulness. That's what's going to keep you young. That's what's going to keep you fresh. And that's what's going to keep your stress levels down, so that your body doesn't reflect all the stress that you're dealing with. And a lot of times what happens is when we're stressed out, we turn to other dangerous forms of ways of trying to suppress the stress or the grief that we're going through. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be casual sex, fornication, all those different types of things. And those things are going to suck energy and suck the life force out of you. Think about this way. Each and every one of us is born with a life force, a light. And we're either doing things to brighten that light, or we're doing things to dim that light. And we have to be careful of the situations, the people, and the circumstances that we engage in, because those things are either going to build up our light and brighten our light, or suck us bone dry. And you may have noticed it. You may have seen it. Maybe someone was in a relationship that wasn't good for them, and you saw them go from being youthful and vibrant to being almost dead and in the grave. And it's because we're allowing things, people, and circumstances to suck the life force from us. Protect and guard your life force, y'all. Protect and guard that precious thing that God has given you, that light that God has given you. And work on cultivating instead of diminishing it. All right. Next one, find and live your life purpose. Y'all, I think one of the major things, and this is one of the things when we get into that part where I say that many of us go through that midlife crisis, which is kind of the age group, the age bracket that I'm in right now. When we are not walking in the purpose for which we were created, we are going to find dissatisfaction with life. When we don't find meaning, when we have meaning is where we find fulfillment. And check this out. Meaning and purpose is what gives us the strength and like the extra oomph that we need when we face life's challenges. Can you imagine going through life and going through all these different types of challenges and these obstacles that you have to overcome? And throughout all of that, You're like, well, what is the purpose of this? When you don't find the purpose in something, or when you don't have a vision, challenges and obstacles that are thrown at you make no sense. And when they make no sense, it causes you to be dissatisfied. It causes you to be discouraged, disheartened. And when you're disheartened, that's where the depression comes from. And then that's where, unfortunately, turning to different vices come from. So understand that you were created with a special gift, a special talent, a special skill, that God has put you on this earth to contribute to this world so that you can make this world a better place. Understand what that is and walk in it. Because when you walk in it, not only will you have more fulfillment, but when obstacles are thrown at you, you'll be able to handle them a lot better, because you'll be like, you know what? No, I see the vision. I know where I'm going. And this obstacle is only here to make me stronger instead of to break me down. All right. Balance and rest. That's the next one. Balance and rest. Some of us are so super strict, super religious, super spiritual, super just, we're so anal about things that we don't take into consideration that we don't need to be so hard on ourselves. And sometimes we have to really understand where that sense of perfection is coming from. Now, we are being perfected. Even the word of God says Christ is perfecting us. But y'all, we will never be perfect, or we will never reach that perfected state until he comes back and basically makes us new. And so while we're being perfected, we have to understand there are times where we're going to fall. There are times where we're not going to be at our best. There are times where we're going to slip. There are times where we're not going to be on our A game, and we have to make room and be kind to ourselves. And we have to understand that it's about moderation. It's about moderation. Like, let me give you an example. When I say eat right, there's some people who are super strict on that, and it's okay. If that's you, no, I'm not knocking you. But every now and then have a dessert, honey. Every now and then, if you want to drink, have a drink. But the thing is to be all things in moderation, all things in balance, all things to keep that inner harmony within yourself. And we have to learn the difference. We have to learn the difference. Enjoy your life. You only get one life to live. Be focused. Do not become distracted, but enjoy your life. And when you do fall into those little bit of distractions, just shake yourself off and keep on pressing forward and give it up to God. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't knock yourself. All right. Next one, respect spiritual laws. This is extremely important. This is what happened to us, what got us into this mess by our first parents breaking God's first commandment. But God has established certain universal principles and laws in the universe, not only in our physical world, but in our spiritual world, that when we break them, that's where we start to experience a lot of the curses and a lot of the dysfunction and brokenness that we want to stay away from. Example, when we go out there, God says to find out one person, commit, and then give your body to that person. And he does that to protect us. He does that because he wants us to experience the fullness of the blessing of love, of, let's say, sex or something like that. But what we do is the enemy he throws lies at us and tells us, oh no, you can have casual sex with whoever you want to have sex with. You can go out and give your body to whoever you want to give your body to. And again, going back to that light that's in us, that life force, we start giving here and there and pouring here and there. And the next thing you know, we're empty and we're broken, we're bankrupt. And we have to understand that these things, when we don't respect the spiritual principles, some of you may call them karma or something like that, but when we don't respect the spiritual principles, we are going to experience the different ailments, spiritual diseases, physical diseases, all those different types of unfortunate things that we don't want to experience. And so I want to tell you guys, please respect the spiritual laws. Even if you don't claim a God or something like that, though it would be, to me, your best interest to claim God. But even if you don't, respect the spiritual laws. There are certain spiritual laws. Know what they are and respect them. All right. Next one. Don't compare. There's a quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. Society has built this even social media on comparison. And when we compare ourselves to others, we are going to fall in so much trouble. We're going to fall in so much dismay and dysfunction and hurt, discouragement, all those different types of things. You will never be that person. Whoever you're comparing yourself to, you will never be that person. Again, I told you guys before, God has placed the unique gifts and talents within you that he is, and the way that he's placed it in you is completely special, completely unique to any other person. And when you go trying to walk another person's path, you're going to stumble and fall, and you're going to find yourself stressed out. And then that's where all the discouragement is going to come from. And so I want to tell you, if you want to cultivate peace, happiness, and joy and youthfulness within yourself, walk your own path. Cultivate your own garden. When you're busy trying to cultivate somebody else's garden because you think by you being that other person, you're somehow going to be successful, all you're doing is taking from your garden and bringing all types of, again, dysfunction and disease and decay in your garden. You're neglecting your garden. Do not neglect your garden. Walk your own path. Focus on yourself. I want to say God didn't create copies. He created originals. So don't do yourself a disservice by being a copy of someone else. Be yourself. All right, last one. Cultivate and focus on inner beauty. There's a verse in the Proverbs that says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman or a person who fears the Lord, that is the person to be praised at the end of the day. Let me tell you something. As much as we want to maintain our youthfulness, as much as I love aging gracefully, aging will occur. I'm starting to experience gray hairs. I'm seeing changes in my skin. We cannot evade aging, but we can age better. And we have to embrace the beauty that's found in aging, the wisdom that's gained, the self-confidence and the self-knowledge and the surety and awareness that's gained when we're aging, but we cannot evade it unless we die. And if you want to die young, well, there you go. That's the only way you're going to evade that. But even your body's going to rot. So we have to understand that when we focus on the inner things, the inner qualities, the inner characteristics that make us beautiful, that inner quality is what's going to shine through. That's what's going to give you the nutrients, so to speak, to your cells so that you will maintain youthfulness. But understand, you will get old. One day, y'all will see me on here talking to you with a head full of gray hair. Y'all going to see me talking to you with wrinkles and all the different types of things that come with aging. And so we can't stop that process, but what we can work on, what we can focus on is the inner beauty. And that inner beauty is what shines through all the layers of makeup and masks that we try to put on. That inner beauty is the only thing that will shine forth and shine through. And that's what people will, at the end of the day, notice about you. Because let me tell you something, you can meet a very attractive person, a very physically appealing and beautiful person, but on the inside, they're bankrupt. On the inside, they're empty. On the inside, they're ugly. And then guess what? All that beauty goes out the window. So understand, true beauty, while this is physically appealing, true beauty is what comes from within. Y'all, let's work on these things. Let's work on ourselves, cultivate our own beauty, our own uniqueness, our own originality. And let's go into 2023 with the promise that we are going to be better versions of ourselves. I'm super excited. I hope you are excited about 2023. Share your excitement in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Talk to you soon. Love you. Happy New Year. Stay blessed. Bye.